Good day, YouTubers, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all over the world. See, before I take that out, I want to put the eyelet on there. I'm going to hook this camera up so we can do some time lapse and show you this whole process. All these knots and ropes and everything that is entailed to make this complete, ready to install on the ship. So first thing we're going to do is tie a knot opposite where the hole is on this and put a little dab of super glue on it. Then we're going to feed that little dinky eyelet up here and tie another knot and put some more super glue on it and leave this long tail to use for feeding through these pulleys, blocks. Then there'll be a separate knot on the big block that will tie off on the ship or on the cannon. Then we repeat that process for the other side. We hook them both to the cannon, and then we tie this black one to the eyelet on both sides. So there you have it, a completed anchoring of the cannon. I assume this rope is supposed to be on top of the back of the cannon like that, but bunch more to go. Let's see, we got that one there, that one there, the one we just did. So we got two more on the main deck. 6 up there and 4 over there. Gonna take for days and days and days. Okay, a little break here from the monotony of tying all those riggings on the cannons. I went ahead and looked forward in the prints and once the cannons are ready for this aft section of the ship, I can't really mount them and put the pins in the wall until this board is on here to cover up the wires. So I've sort of pre-straightened the wires to fit flat as possible along this back wall. I've got them snaked over to that corner with the wires coming out of the hole there on the right, being the ones on the bottom, and then the ones in the middle are in the middle coming out over here, and then the ones on the left are coming out on the top. So obviously I'm going to have to put a clamp here, but I want to try to make that clamp hold both of these boards down so you get a liberal amount of E6000 on here. This is the 0.5 millimeter thick by 5 millimeter wide boards, what it called for to put on there. So now, let's see if we can, without bumping the camera all the time, get a clamp. These are cheapo clamps I got at the dollar store for, and the very tip of them pushes in, so if you're in the right spot, these work pretty good. I'll have to do a little cleanup on this. I need something right there, don't I? And the clamp in the corner, I sort of cut it a little bit to modify it to fit in there right, because that dragon or whatever that horse is on the corner of the ship there was blocking me from using another kind of clamp to get that clamped in there good. So that'll cover up the wires coming down the back wall. Now, you can see here on the prints, along with covering up them wires on the back wall, we got to put something on the side, both sides, but we got to put something on the side to cover up where these wires are running along the gunny wall here. So I got to reorganize them so that they lay flat and not cross over each other, and get some E6000 on there and glue a board in. I think I'm gonna that board will work until you get down to here. I'm gonna have to look at the prints and see because down here is really low. It's only a couple millimeters. That board's got to cover them up. So let me regroup and punt here. This really was the hardest part, getting them all organized and laying flat enough to get something to cover them up. The E6000 works good because it's a thick goopy glue and it helps glue the wire down and have enough glue to hold the board down on top of it. I was thinking wood glue at first, but not in this instance. So let me measure up some boards and then see in the prints what we're going to do when we get past this point right here, because that's too low for a 5 millimeter wide board. Okay, we got this bit in the dremel, and we drilled a hole over here to get down to the next lower deck with the wires. Now we took this bit and we went along here all the way to about there and created a little V-shaped trough that we can get them wires down into. And I think we should be able to get that down in there enough. So we got this board pre-cut to fit this spot to cover up the wires. So now it's just a matter of, I'm going to put some E6000 on here ahead of time and mush it in through the wires with this board like a squeegee and see if I can get them to stick to the wall back there, and then do the same thing here. Try to get them wires to stick down in there with the E6000 on them. And if they will stay, then I'll pull this pin out and take this clamp off and add a bunch of E6000 to the back of this board and glue it on there and clamp it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we got a pretty good liberal amount of glue on there. And I used my tweezers to pull that wire away from the wall. Get some glue behind it too. And then I'm adding a layer on the front here. So hopefully what dries and squeezes out later on we can scrape off of there. I want to make sure that's up in there all the way. Push them wires down a little bit behind it there. So we got one poking out here. Excuse me. Yeah. This part here is going to set at a little bit of an angle. because the wires are in that corner. I get them pushed down as good as I can. So we'll put a clamp right off the bat on the end. It's not grabbing it right. Well, that seems to be holding. Get a clamp right in here. I took it off to look at it to see. Yeah, we gotta definitely put one there. Something's gotta go there. And this railing is so, there we go. Railing on the top is so fat. Get another clamp. Push this down a little bit. Yep. Another clamp over here. Oop. Where that hump is, the railing isn't sticking out. So the clamp is grabbing it pretty good. This is not working over here though. Gotta get something to hold that right there. And take a pin and bend a U shape. Put on there. Pushing this down to the deck. Get another clamp. See if we can get a bite on that. It pulled up the board. There we go. There's just enough space on the jaw of that clamp to clear the railing. And then we need something right in the corner. Like that. That'll work perfect. Okay. Now let me bend a pin in a U shape and slide it over this. Guesstimate how far that is. Let's see if we can get this in there. And squeeze it tight with a big pair. Definitely squeezed it tight. Okay. So we have covered up the wires. I think we got good seal. Good amount of glue on there. Now the easy part is cutting the board to match that on this side, because there ain't no wires over here. Okay, so we got the board on the other side, and we stained it. Stained the back side of the railing on both sides. Then we got a couple of these all stained up for the next step of put them in here in between these frames. So we got to cut it to fit and go all along the inside there, and then we can mount these 12 cannons into the wall. So next week I'm going to work on putting the rigging on the 4 aft cannons, and once we get them done we can mount them because we got all the boards done. Then we'll work on these front ones. Thanks for watching.